Hey world, it's me again, from my little camper at the German forest side. In today's video I want to show you how you can use your old clothes, how to very simply patch broken clothes and how to repair other stuff, especially when you just want quick lasting fixes. Let's start with our old clothes. I decluttered a bit of those over the last months and decided to reuse some of them. 2 years ago I started to use washable handkerchiefs instead of throwaway ones, and I need a few more of those, and I also want some for work now, so let's just make them out of old clothes. I also needed a few more cloths for cleaning and wanted to try out using a few of them as well for wash clothes. And I made these out of my old shirts and leggings as well. By the way, the cutscenes you look at right now are a few months old at this point, so after a few uses and washes, I have to say both the handkerchiefs and the cloths, of both which the ones that clean stuff and the ones that clean myself, work out pretty well. This video is far away from perfection when it comes to fixing stuff, but it does perfect the time you need to spend on these fixes. So it also prevents you from just throwing away stuff because you don't want to take a ton of time repairing things. I feel you, I've been there, so let's just do it the quick way and have lasting results anyway. With this skirt that I wore a lot in the last years, I actually did one of my first stitching jobs. I wanted it to be quick and simple, and still it turned out very fine, I think. If you have a mosquito net to stitch, just do it like you would clothes. It will be fine. About this bench, yeah, I know, it's quite broken. Of course you can fix this bench in a more aesthetic way, but you can also just do it the lazy way, which is very much less time-consuming, and show your potential visitors your love for keeping the things you have and for keeping your reparation processes simple and nice. And these are some other random things that needed a little care. So what I also did is I fixed some shoes of mine with shoe glue. For example, this pair, which I wear pretty often for many years, which was broken like here. There were a few cracks, and I fixed them with shoe glue, which worked out very fine, which I also did with some other pair of shoes that I have. And I also went to a cobbler in the last months to fix this pair of shoes, which might look a bit old and odd to some of you, but which I really love. And if you wear them, you don't see the broken part, so I don't really care. And I think these shoes are very high quality and they are still extremely beautiful, so that's that. And this here was broken, so I did let a cobbler repair this, which was very cheap actually. And yeah, now I can wear them again, which is so beautiful. And also I've been to a tailor with a few pieces of mine because, and I will talk about this in a minute a bit more, I really need to prioritize, or I really want to prioritize on where I spend my time on and what my time is worth. So I don't want to sit at home a lot of my time to fix stuff. I had a lot of fun fixing what I showed you, but all of this has limits. So for me it's very important to set very specific boundaries on what I want to do and what I don't want to do. So some pieces of mine I gave to a professional tailor, and for example, yeah, this jeans, which was fixed right here. They did a very, very good job, and it wasn't that pricey, so it was definitely worth the money. Now I want to talk a bit more about the background on why I think it's important to fix stuff even though it's not perfect. For me personally, I've gone through many energy crashes in my life. What I mean to say is that I've been through times where I had very little resource to do things at all. And since then, I prioritize very well what I want to spend my time on and how much time I want things to take, if I can decide that. So my energy is much higher at this point, but I still think very generally that you should really have a look at what you spend your time on and what really makes you happy and what really brings you value or the world. So for me personally, I figured that I don't want to throw away things that are broken. I want to repair them, but I want to do it in a time schedule that fits my needs, so that I have more time for the things that really fulfill me, for sharing content on YouTube, for doing things that really fill up my cups. And I prioritize these things. I prioritize my personal call and my personal well-being over spending a lot of time on these things. If these things are your personal call, that's great. Do them often. But for me personally, I don't see myself doing DIY or something for very much time in my life, because that's simply not my call. So I need systems that are very efficient and very less time consuming, and what I did actually matches that perfectly. And also this was a very, very good way for me to learn to let go of my perfectionism, because as you have seen, I did the things I did in a very unperfect way, and for me this was so freeing. And I feel so much lighter, and now I know much more. I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to do everything I do perfect. I don't need to do this YouTube video perfect. And I don't want to wait anymore, because I also had like an issue with waiting. Like I always wanted to wait also for the perfect timing, and when my cup is totally full, and there were so many excuses, and I didn't want to have all of these excuses very generally in my life, but also in terms of broken stuff like clothes or something. So I'm kind of proud that I did declutter so much and I did repair so much in the way that I did. And I hope that I can inspire you maybe a bit to not throw away your things, but to keep the things you really need and want, and that there are simpler ways to deal with things and they don't need to be perfect. Yeah. If you want to take a look at my declutter videos, I decluttered in my last video. I decluttered my camper where I live in. So that's linked in the description, and also I will link the video of my first declutter, which was in 2021, where I still lived in a flat. In the last videos I didn't talk quite much about my personal well-being or how my personal story went in the last months. So that's something that's going to come up in the next video, where I'm going to tell you much more about that, which is going to be a less instructional video, if you want to call it like this one. So stay tuned also for more minimalistic content, which will definitely come up in the videos after the next one. And stay tuned. I see you in the next one, and I wish you all a good day or night. Bye bye.